Okay. Okay. So today's session will be on data scraping. Why on day three we started with data scraping is see, on day one we tried to analyze or we tried to understand what is UiPath and how to install. On day two, the basic things that we did was to understand and check with what are the selectors. And day three and day four will be working on data scraping and filtering out data or doing some UI automation. Again, this is basic. If you ask me, this is very minimal activity. And once you work on projects, this is like a 5 minute activity. But to do that 5 minute activity, you need to have proper understanding of what and how things are moving in. Okay. Now, on day three, we'll be doing with two activities or two things, that is table scraping and structured data scraping. So again, table scraping will also come under structured data scraping. So we are not talking about unstructured data here. We are talking only about structured data. Okay. Now, why table scraping comes under structured data is it's having a proper structure, like okay, it has some columns, it has some values. So that is the reason this comes under structured data scraping. So there are two things or two websites that I would like to refer for our practice. First thing is Naukri, because we will be applying for jobs and this will be very important for us to know and understand. So let's try with this one. Okay. Yeah. So everyone just try to, you need not do it right now, but after our program or today's meeting, we'll be doing this. Um, Naukri, and go to Naukri portal and we'll search for UiPath jobs. Okay, and selected experience. Maybe if you are a fresher, just go for fresher. But ideally, you can suggest for it is suggested to go with 1 year or more, and enter location. You can select for India. Search special characters not allowed in India. Okay, search. So this gives me around 20 items or 61 items. I'll filter it with date. So whatever I'm trying to do now, I'm doing it manually. But the main intention is to extract the information and to have that information in an Excel sheet or reuse the information somewhere else where we need to use it. Okay, if you see here, there are around um, how many? Just a second. Modify. So let me just add it for you. So if you keep single quotes or double quotes, this will give me the exact search. So yeah, again, okay. So if I just want to check with this URL, I can share it with everyone. I'll just share it with you all. So first, Naukri job scraping, Naukri jobs data scraping, extraction, okay. And table scraping, we'll be working on Wikipedia. Okay. So the URL that we'll be working on is this, and if you want, I can just forward that to you. You can open it right now and you can check if you want. Yep, here you go. And it is showing that there are 671 UiPath opportunities, but um, we are seeing only 671 opportunities. We are seeing only 1 to 20. So let's try to understand and try to understand it with UI Explorer first, how things are available, then we'll go ahead and check with the other things. See, I can go ahead and do data scraping, table scraping, but the intention is not to just scrape the data, understand what and how things will be available for us. So that's the main intention. So this is my UI Explorer. Again, indicate an element, or if you just observe, every job is an article. I'll just keep it to right and I'll keep it over here. So if you can just click on this highlight, enable highlight, every job is an article. Okay, so all I need is I need to extract the article, but even in the article there is a structure. There will be a div, a UL, and a div. So if I click on this div, it will be having what? RPA developer, like the job name, what is the company name, and years of experience and all the required activities. Now the same details will be available for the next job. Okay, in the same structure. If I open the third one, it will be the same. Now, if I open div inside this and open div inside this, the structure of any particular article will still remain the same. Either it will have some information, or if there is no information, then it will be like not disclosed. But there will be some information as we require. See here, if this is the anchor, this is the div that's giving me, maybe that's hidden, but UL, and this is the value. Anchor, not opening, div. So div is a container and it has some information. Like this is the company details or company name. Okay. Now this is a UL and inside this I have something called years of experience, not disclosed, and Bangalore. So there are two ways to do this activity. We'll do the easiest way first, then we'll go with the find children activity. So in the interview, there will be a question like how can you extract the information if you are not using table scraping? So you can just explain with this activity. Again, on day three, so let me just add a sequence. Day three, structure data, create. If you have any question, just park them for me. The meeting is getting recorded. Super. And then we'll check it in the end or in 5-10 minutes. So the easiest way, you will have table extraction on the top, and all you need to do is hit on next. Find the element that you want to extract for each and every item. In the first one, I need to extract the RP developer. So I need to give it a pattern to select. Okay. So now once I do this, it will try to select all the jobs with that pattern, and this will give me something called job names. I can name it whatever I want. I also want to extract the URL out of it. That is URL. Okay. Next. So once it extracts all the information, I can see what information or what it does have. If you can see, this is something called anchor tag. There is an anchor tag and div section. So from the top, it's trying to come to the bottom. So I'll extract some other information that is related to this. Important thing to observe, since we started with this one, the next item should, like the next related element should be from the same item. You cannot extract this one because this is not from this div. Okay, so this is the item, that's the company name, and the second element is this one. Okay, now all I'm doing is extract. So company name. Okay, next. So with company, I can also extract the URL, but that's not required for me. So if I just go back once, and if I click on extract URL, I can also get the URLs of the companies. See here, column 4, all the companies, IBM jobs, careers, all these information that I can get. But For now, not required. So I'll just go back, hit on next. Only company name is enough. And the next thing that I need is number of years of experience. Okay, just highlight it, 3.2 years. And the next one
Okay.
is
Just
2.5. Guys, please go on mute. Okay, this is experience required. And then, so for now, I think this is enough for me to just try to understand what kind of experience it is. If I just want to go ahead and give an interview, irrespective of what the location is, I can go ahead and check with these details. And if you observe here, the maximum number of results is zero. So maximum zero for all, but here we are having 100, so it will extract the 100 results. Finish. But before doing finish, let me just go to the end of the page. Why? Because there are some items in the next page. We are checking only with the first page. So click on finish, and then is the data spanning at multiple pages? Yes, because it is having pagination. Let's hit on next. I need to map what is the next button. If I need to extract the next page elements, what is the next button? I just need to click over here. Okay, so this is what we have. We have information and we have data. So here the data that I'm giving. Always remember I do follow best practices. So this becomes as a data table for me. If you see on the name, this is extract data table. So DT is short form for data table and jobs details. Okay, now all I'll do is I'll just write it into a Excel. For that I'll just use this one, delete, yes. The workbook path can be today's date, but for now let's go with Naukri jobs dot xlsx, and the sheet name can be, and some in some interviews they will ask you like, okay, you need to create sheet name with today's date. How will you do that? That is simple. Now dot toString, but all I will do is I will just give a format dd YYYY. So this is a format that gives me information like date, month, and year. We can learn about these later, but this will just create a sheet with this particular name. That's it. I'll go ahead and I will go to this particular item, check to the top, and I will run this file. Run file. So if you observe, the pages are changing 60, 80, next 81 to 100. That's it. So we extracted around 100 results, and the results will be available here. And if I just refresh, so this is Naukri jobs. So I have all the information that I require. Okay, RPA developer required, and this is the job URL. And if I just go ahead and copy it and paste it in the browser, I can go ahead and just go ahead and add in. I can go ahead and apply. So this is how I can extract the information, but the idea is not just to extract the information. There is more we need to check. Okay, let's assume that I need to get more information out of it. I'll just go ahead and add one. Okay, I'll just add a insert. Okay, insert, and here comes years. So I'll just filter out Control Shift L. This is again a manual activity that I'm just trying to do so that we can just try to understand whatever has two in it. Like, okay, I need to have something with 2 years. Okay, let's go ahead and apply. All these are 2 years experience with developers requirements. So I can just go ahead and apply. But if you see here, the current date is 10/7/2022. I'm in US time zone, so it's still Sunday for me. So this is how you can create new ideas or new values or new information. You can quickly extract all the information and you can keep it. Well, if you observe, we tried with multiple things and we tried to extract multiple information by selecting multiple items. But what if it is a data table? I will show you one more thing. Here in UiPath, Wikipedia, this is a table. If you can see, there is rows and columns. Now here, what I'll do, I'll just go and add sequence again, extract table data. So whatever data we extracted from Naukri is a structured data, but this is also structured, but in the form of rows and columns. There you don't have rows and columns. I'll go into extract table and then hit on next item and then go ahead and select one item. So this is asking me, like, UiPath is able to understand that this is a data table and it's asking me, would you like to extract all the information from all the columns and tables? So this is one activity. So if I just click on yes, then this extracts information for me and then finish. So the data is not moving to multiple pages. I'll just hit on no so that I will get the information required. And here the data table is dt wiki data. Here again, I will create a new sheet, right range, and data is Naukri. Okay, sorry, wiki.xlsx sheet name. Well, here is a small hint or a trick for dates. So, what if a user in the interview wants me to get the data or wants to create the sheet name with yesterday's date? Okay, if I'm creating date for creating or running it today, how can I add yesterday's date? So I'll just add now dot. So these are the functions that we have. Add days. So if you add one, it will be next day. If you add -1, it will be a previous day. So this is how you can use it. Dot toString. Again, we'll go with the format that is dd mm and the table is dt wikidata. Okay, so again, this can be an interview question that you can be asked, like how can you get the previous days with current date? Then you can just say that, okay, I'll just add days -1. This is how you will get it. Then just run the file. I think this is done. Okay, this is very quick. And refresh, and then let's see wiki information. And here you go with all the data, and this is coming with yesterday's date. My today's date is 10th for me, and yesterday's date is 9th. Well, we are able to extract information from structured data and tabular data. There is one requirement where, yes, can you please go on mute? Thank you. Okay, there is one more way how can we extract structured data without using table extraction. So this is the important concept that normally in an organization sometimes when we are not able to use table extraction we will use. Okay, I'll just try to mute everyone, please. Okay, thank you. Sorry for that, but yeah, let's continue with the other information. I'll take the questions in some time. Add a sequence. So now, how to extract data table or how to extract structured data without using table extraction. Extract So if you observe, first thing that I normally do when I start with any project or start with any kind of activity is try to analyze how the structure of the particular website is available. So, and I can do that using UI Explorer. So I'll do something like this. Okay, indicate element, and I will select one of the item. Okay, now if you observe carefully, this is my complete table, and here is my table. Okay, I'll just keep it to the right. Highlight. Now out of this table, there is called T body, complete body. Every T body will have table rows. So if you observe, this is my row. This is my first row. This is my first row. This is my second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. So all the values are in rows for me. And each and every row will have columns. So this is TH, 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 table headers. These are table headers. And these are TDs. Okay. Now I don't have access for table extraction, then how can I do that? If you observe carefully, there is a concept called find children where I will be working or I will be dealing with in the projects. We'll be working more with the find children activities, but the idea is first go with the parent, find its children, extract the value, go to the next child, extract the value, continue till all the children are completed. So can you please type in how many rows of information do we have? Just go ahead, count here and just type in how many rows of information do we have? One, two, three. So how many rows do we have with this table? Waiting for your answers. Nine, nine. Okay, 9 rows. Ramesh, your answer is correct, but you just need to give the format of the table. Format of the date range. Yeah, one header data and 9 rows. Okay, this is fine. So ideally, we need to extract information based on rows. So this is a row, and along with the rows, we have some header values. So that is fine for us. Okay, now let's go ahead and extract the values. So how can we do that? Again, I'll go ahead and rely on UI elements. So this is attach window, attach browser. So use application or browser.
Sorry, Bajrang, I don't see your screen. I think your screen share is stopped.
Oh, is it? Is someone trying to do screen share? No. Okay.
Team, are you able to see the screen?
No, no. I'm
No.
just starting it again. Okay, done. Yep. So I'll just use. So till when have you seen the screen? Till this? Okay. I'll just add something called application browser and indicate. So this is a browser URL that I'm working on, and I'll use something called find children. And find children, if I clearly go and observe this one, so where is this UI Explorer? So I will rely on UI Explorer because UI Explorer is the main important concept to get the values. Click on indicate element. Now if I just go into the value, I have TD, table rows and table information. So this is table. So in the table, I have table rows. So what I'll do, I'll just go with table and I will go here, indicate on screen. I'll just go and indicate the complete table. I'll just try to do the complete table if I can. but again I'll go back into the properties and target. Just a second. Not sure why some noises are done. Guys, please go on mute. Okay, thanks. So here we have value. This is main div. I'll just change this to table. So this is my table. Validate, highlight element. So this is my table. I'll just highlight it again. So when I see when fundraised everything, we have information on this. The second thing that we need to do is web control. So if I need to extract this table row, I will double click on this. And the web control is tr. So this is what I need to extract. I'll just go ahead and give this one. And what I need to give a unique or some value that is unique for all the rows. So this web control tr is unique for all the rows, and I'll go ahead and give it. Find children. So these are direct children. I can also check with descendants. So table has a descendant of children, or table has a descendant of rows. And here I can just give. So how do I name things? If I observe here, this is IEnumerable of UI element. I'll just give IEnumerable, control K, IEnumerable of rows. Okay. Now, if I go ahead, scope or highlight element, I'll just use highlight element to just give out some, to show the data. That's it. Properties. Okay. The target is null. Input element. So if I see here, this will give me a collection. So I'll just go ahead and use for loop for each UI element. For each, I'll go with for each, and I'll change the object property to UI element. UI element. So why am I changing this to UI element? Can someone unmute and explain me why am I changing this to UI element? Try once.
We are checking the find children output, right? So that find children output is UI element. So here also we need that.
So the actual implementation is we are looping in through UI elements. So if we are looping in through strings, then we will be changing that to a string. If we are looping it through some integers, we'll be changing that to integer. So here we are looping in with values of UI elements. So that is the reason this is UI element. Okay. Now here I'll just highlight this particular item. Okay. Properties, and here color is gold, input element is UI element. So this is a dynamic value again, and the duration is how much duration. So this is in seconds, so I'll just give 1 second. That's it. 1 second should be enough for me to just show it, debug. Okay, let's see how this will go. Okay, it's extracting table, then the first element, second element, third element. Now, if I extract information from this, then what will I get? Will I be able to get the table or not? Let's try to extract the information. Get text is what I'll use to extract the information, and save to row text. Okay, and the value that I'm using is properties. Here again, input is UI element, and let's just run it again. Okay, I'll also log this value into the output, log message, row text. So whatever text it is having, I'm trying to extract, run file. So what can be an expected output from this? Can anyone try? Unmute and talk. Tell. So it's trying to extract all the information. Since we have given highlight element, it's trying to highlight it with gold. After completion of the last item, it will stop.
I think it will get the entire table, like each 9 rows, which we're talking.
Okay. If you observe here, so it is extracting something like this one. Audit web URL when, okay, when new line fundraised, new line valuation, who and notes. So everything came in one single line. Okay, but is it our intended requirement? No, right? We need to have rows and columns. So this is what we need. Okay, so how can we check with that? How can we get the information like that?
Vajrang, actually we are looping UI elements, right? So we
Mhm.
are storing in a text. If anything like a table kind of variable is there, we can append that and get it in table format.
See, I will try to explain it in a easier format. Now, in a table, we have all the rows, right? But in each and every row, we have all the DTs. Is it right? Is it right or not?
Yes, yes.
DTs. Now, we find children for table. If we find table data for all the items, can we get the values individually?
Yes.
Okay, so that is what I'll do now. Okay, now see here, we will use go back. Now for each row, I will again use for each, okay, I will use find children again. But in this find children, I'll go with properties. So the element is, I'll just change this to UI element. So this is my UI element. But what is the filter that I need to give? This is web control th. I need to give everything, but here these are changing. So if I just give web control, that will be enough. Find children, descendants, all the columns. Okay. Now this is enumerable of columns again. Okay. Now here web control, this is throwing error because this is not in double quotes. It is accepts a string. Now this is accepting a string. Now if I find children, so how is it also a collection? So can I just write a for each again? For each, this is one column, and here I'll go again with. So is it, what is this one now? Is it UI element or a column or what exactly is it? Or row? What should I map to type argument? This is still a UI element because column is also a UI element. Okay. Now enumerable of columns again. What I'll do, I'll just go back and I will use get text and I will add it to get text. But here, instead of sending in a row, I will send in one column. So I will send in one column and this is a column value. Okay, and once I have a column value, I log message again. This is str column value, and then I'll just log a message after loop. I'll just log like new row, just for our information. That's it. Nothing, it has nothing to do with our code, but I'm also removing highlight element. So what is the expected result out of this one? Will I get a complete
Yeah.
row?
Yes.
No, we'll get every column value. Let's go ahead and check in the output. Can you see? When, fundraised, valuation, who notes? Again, going to a new row. August, US, empty value, this 2 2. If I just go with this one, but the problem that's coming in here is this two is also taking some extra UI elements. Okay, then how can I work with this one? If I give, see, if I give tag, okay, did you understand why did we get 2 and 2 here? Why didn't we get only 4 values? It's 1 2 3 4 values only, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Why did we get 6 values over here? Can anyone tell me? And why did we get 31 32 33? Just go through the table and tell me. Why?
I think it's a URL, right, Vajra? So if you click on two, it will go to the row two, I guess, like properties. So when we spying the element, right? So there we need to uncheck something
Okay,
so that we can.
so what we did is we picked up every web control from this particular row. So that was the mistake that happened. So if you just go and check in UI Explorer, I'll go with UI Explorer again.
So these 27, 28, 29, these are all in separate children for that particular row.
These are also children.
Yes.
Okay, so open UI Explorer. Not sure why this is not opening. Yeah, I think it opened in the background. Okay, so if I just see the table information, and here I go with this one. So what did I observe? If I can just highlight this one, table data. This is table data. So inside table data, I have sub again. So this is one more item. So it is getting all the descendants from this value. But if I want only the direct children, only the values in TD, then I need to map this as children. I'll just go back. So here if you observe in find children in columns, we mapped it as descendants. So now I'll map it as children only. Now let's see what we are getting.
Uh, Vajran,
Mhm.
then when do you choose descendant? Like if you want to
Yeah,
extract
see,
hidden values.
not hidden values. If you want to extract everything that is inside one particular item, like even descendant SUP is a descendant of TD4, this one,
Hmm.
but it is also a descendant of complete row. So
Okay.
it picked up
Hmm.
everything. But if I
Okay.
want only children, like only the topmost items, I will pick up
Yeah,
only
yeah.
children.
Oh,
Okay, I think it completed output. I hope the result should be correct. If it is not correct, then we'll check again. But if you observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are getting only 4 values every time. Okay, did you get it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how can we create a data table out of it? We still have 14 minutes, or yeah, 14 minutes. Can we create a table completely and can we write it? Let's quickly do it. So we'll build a data table, and this build data table will have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and column 4. So this is not integer, this is also a string. Don't allow null or allow null, whatever it is. So I'm building a data table. So this data table will contain all the information. Control K, dt, complete information. So I will use some concepts called debugging, step into, step out. So have a quick look of and where and how things are moving in. So here, this gives me all rows. Okay, and after completing all rows, this gives me, or find children, find children. Okay, this gives me all rows. Okay, find children, annotation, shift gives all rows. Now this gives me all columns in the rows. Okay, now for every column I can just add the values, or I can just use comma separated values and I can add. So here I go. For each item I have, I'll just create a new row, assign. So again, this is into a tricky concept. Hope you can understand. Control K, dr underscore new row, new data row. So I'm just creating a data row, that's it. And this is new data row. Okay. And then, so instead of this one, I'll just write, so we are creating a new row here, right? So, or else what can I do? I can do comma separated values, but dt complete info dot new row. So this creates a new row, and get text column value will get. So we'll go ahead and add this value here. New row value should go on the top, it should go out of the body. So every time a new row comes in, it should create a value. So I'll just add columns. So this is having an index, properties, control K, idx. Okay, and here I go, assign dr of new row of idx. Why idx? Because it starts from 0. Again, if you are very new, don't know coding, that's fine. But what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to add the values into a table that we are creating. Str column value. Okay, and here this comes as new row. I think this should be it. Once we have all the rows, okay, for each row, we just need to write the information. Find children for each row, data table, and here write range again using find children dot xlsx. Sheet name is data and the data table is gt complete info. There may be some changes that required, but let's have a breakpoints and let's try. I'll do step into only. So step into will work like every item, it will every step it will show us some result. It will stop at every item and we'll get the information. So here we are trying to get the information. Step into find children, finding the children. And if you observe, like this is the column that this is the data table that we have, nothing else. Step into find children, it's trying to find the children, new row. So if you see here, dt new row has nothing, it just have four empty values. Okay, now step into again, column values we are checking, dt extracting the value. So the first value is when, and UI element, if you observe this row text dt row, this gets appended with when. Okay, in the same way, dt of table, this one should also be appended, but let's see if it's getting appended or not. Step into, so what is the next value that we can expect? Fundraised. Step into, step into. So we have completed 4 iterations and 4 values must be updated in dt new row. Let's see them. When fundraised valuation, one last item is pending. Step into, okay. So dt new row now has what? When funding valuation, who notes? So everything we got. Okay. Now after row, what it should do? It should get to the next row. Step into new row. So it's going with the new row. Step into again. Now it's trying to fetch the columns of next item. Okay. Now here if you see again, dt new row is null again. But if you observe dt table, so what is dt table? It should contain some values. Let's see if it contains some values. There is no value. So let's see why we don't have any value. So after getting all the information, we need to add row, data row, add data row, and we need to pass in the values. So dt new row, dr new row, and that should be passed into dt complete info. So once we create the new row, we need to send it to a data table. And once we send it, we will continue with the next row. After completion of all the rows, we will write it to Excel. Again, I'll just run it for time being. Let's quickly see. And it will be very fast. Output. So it's extracting information. Extracted all the information. Let's quickly check if it's getting the values or not. Find children. Okay. So this is how we can extract information even if we don't have a table scraping activity. Okay, I'll just try to explain the last things again, just check, but I'll do that using Where is this? Find references, output, activity snippets, object repository. Okay, resources, nothing. Outline. So if you observe here, this for each loop, find children, this is used to get all the rows. Rename. So I'll use this outline window. This outline window will give me only the outline, nothing else. So this will find children, get rows. So for each row, okay, we are trying to get columns. Find all columns. Okay, after finding all the columns, create a new row, create a new data row. Okay, now for each column that's there in each row, for each column in each row, extract all the text, get text for each item and add it. Do you know why did we write IDX here? New row of IDX. Can anyone tell me? There is only 5 minutes more. Can anyone tell me why did we write IDX here?
Um,
IDX value is a dynamic value.
Yeah. So if you see here, IDX is index that I have created. Instead of IDX, I can create INDEX as well, not only IDX. Now, every row it's coming, it's starting from 0th index, 0, 1, 2, 3. And table also will follow the same index. Row of 0, row of 1, row of 2, row of 3. Only 4 values we have, so 0 to 4. So row of 0 will come here, row of 1, when it's looping in the second time, it's row of 1, next row of 2, row of 3. In the same way, we are creating. And the table structure we copied or we created from here. Like we are creating a new row from here, so the template will still remain the same. So this is how we do it using find children activity. Okay, so let's quickly update nodes. So what we did, structured data scraping, table scraping, we did table scraping. What do we did, find children, and we used descendants and children. Then find children, other than find children, we also use something called dates. Now.toString, that's the dates. And we used Excel activities. And what else did we use? Mm, web automation. I think this is what we have done. Okay. Now go with your questions. Any kind of questions. So this, if you ask me, the first 30 minutes or first 20 minutes that we worked on are basics. Remaining time, whatever we have worked on, bit complex for initial members, but for one or two experienced person, this also should be a basic. Okay, I'll keep the recording for 2 more minutes. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
Yeah, Vajan Srikanth here. Now that we have extracted the table, right?
Mhm.
So ideally, I think extract table should be sufficient, right? If we are working on a real time. So that
Not
just wanted to
always.
understand.
Not always. Always extract table will not work.
Okay, so in cases where it will not work, we are going for this find children
Yeah,
way of doing it, right?
correct.
Okay.
and Vajrang, Ramesh here. Like we are preparing one Excel sheet after data scraping, right? So by default, it is storing in any of the default location, or you are providing the path as a dynamically.
File path location, like Excel file.
Y- Yes, yes.
I just gave the name. If you want to give the full path, you can give, but it will be storing in the folder, like project folder only.
In local, it is saving in default folder, right?
No, no. In my folder path, like if you can see, sharing my screen again. So this is my project, right? I'll just open my project. Whatever files are getting saved in the project itself. Nowhere else.
Okay, okay. So if I want to create a
Change
folder
it.
dynamically
Hmm.
with one of the sheet name we have passed as dynamically, right? Now.to string.
Yeah,
So
create a
if I want
directory.
to create,
There is
okay,
an activity called create directory. Yeah, create a folder. You can do this.
okay. Thank you.
Vajrang, why did you initialize a row like variable and why can't you just directly add data row of index? Why can't you pass index directly?
If you
I mean,
don't,
I am not.
let's say something like this. If you don't have a home, where will you stay? If you want to go and stay in your home,
Mm,
you need to first purchase a home, right? Then you need to stay,
mm.
right? So in a new data table, there are no rows.
So you can directly add data row,
Mhm.
and if you pass index, I don't know. I mean, this is all new. Like I have seen, like they add data rows and directly add
Yeah,
data
yeah.
into it.
See, add data row can also be done, but for that I need to extract the information, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now what people will normally do is they will first select or extract the items into a row, into an array, and after a for loop they will use add data row and send in the add data row and the value in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, that's what people normally do. Yeah, we can also do
Okay.
that. But if you see here, we are using table structure properly and using indexes properly. So there is no way of missing any item.
Okay.
Best practices. These are called best practices.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a new concept I've learned, so I was like
Yeah, yeah. See,
confused.
yeah. See, though I'm saying these are basics, every day there will be something new that you can learn from me. That's for sure.
Okay.
Don't miss it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Vajrang, Bhimra here.
Yeah, Bimro.
Actually, Vajrang, you used two items. First, in the environment, you perform first row, then column.
Hmm.
Okay, is there any activity to do both activity in the same thing, both row and column in a single activity?
You cannot actually, because if you observe, we tried with the descendants. What descendants actually did, it tried to extract every value. But how can you say which item is mapped to what if you extract everything? I'll just share my screen again. Now, if I extract everything, I can just give as web control. Now, when I use web control only without giving TD or TR, it will extract everything. When fundraise valuation, this will come, two will come, and here two will come. Here, Kevin Bryars, there is a URL that will also come. You cannot map it properly. So that is the reason you need to use two loops.
One inside one.
Yes. So first you extract parent, then the children. Okay, guys, we'll be starting our project soon. So that June team, you will be having two more sessions, and for July team, after two sessions, we'll be starting out new projects. So today's task is to replicate whatever we have did, and the links are available for you in the notes. And here is the notes, and I will also give you the wiki link. So just check out wiki link as well, and try to complete it. I will not give you the code right away. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow you can get it, but right now, not suggested. So try to work on your own and try to complete it. The recording will be available for all the paid members. And can I just have a hand raise of members who did not pay but still joined? I just need to see how many new members joined. Nothing that you will be removed from the meeting or anything. Just want to see how many members who haven't paid yet but joined. Om Prakash, okay. Omji. Anyone else? I see Parikshit, someone with name Parikshit. Bhimrao, Srinivas Rao, okay. Pimsani. Bhimrao, I think so. Bhimrao as well.
Yeah, I paid. I paid.
You paid? Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, Vajrang, I paid all.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So yeah, so for last two sessions for June team, so don't miss them. These basics are very important as you have requested, and again you can go back and check with all the projects that we have done. So all the best. And for the
Hi
members,
Vajrang, Parikshit here.
yes, Parikshit. Let me just stop
So
the recording. This is getting too much offload.